Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. This is Moyna Bass Fishes. I am Jim Moyna, professional bass fisherman. In this video, we are going to talk about the upcoming tournament year that I've put together. So I guess basically I'm announcing my tournament schedule for this year. And just like last year, I'm going to put the goal of qualifying for the Bassmaster Elite Trail. That is the number one goal, just like last year. That's what it's going to be again this year. Therefore, the top priority tournaments that I'm putting on my calendar are the Bassmaster Open tournaments. Now, they're doing a little something different with the scheduling this year, where they announced the first half of the schedule, and then they have yet to announce the second half of the schedule, which is kind of important because I got things to plan other than fishing for later in the year. So come on, Bassmaster, let's get to it. Let's get these schedules complete. All right, we need them. Anyhow, so with that being said, there are two divisions of the Bassmaster Opens this year. That's two. I am going to be competing in Division 2, which starts off at Lake Sam Rayburn. Then we go to Kentucky Lake in March. Rayburn's like in early February. So then we're at Kentucky Lake in March. Then we're at Lake Norfolk in April. That's a lake I've never been to. So it'll be fun. It's an Ozark type lake, as far as I know. I think I've driven by that on a bridge at one time. And so it's an Ozark type lake. So it's going to be like Bull Shoals, Table Rock, Beaver, that sort of thing. But anyways, that one. And then the last one is an hour from my house here on Leech Lake here in Minnesota. So that's that part of the schedule. Those four, with the goal being that it is, those were the first four tournaments that I locked in. Now, there was a Division 1. I looked at the potential of doing that one, and I decided, what, if I can't do it with one division, I'm not going to bother trying for two. So, because they're not very good money makers. It's kind of risky. There's just not a lot of money to be had. There's a whole lot of expenses. So I'm going to try to get this first half of the schedule done with just the one division. Now, in the latter half of the year, the part of the schedule they haven't announced yet is where they meld the two divisions together. They take the cream of the crop out of each of the one and two divisions. Gosh dang, learn how to talk. And they meld those. I think it's the top 50 out of each division. So then they're going to have like a three series tournament with 100 guys in each or a little more in the fall, which we're waiting for those announcements. Please, Bassmaster, if you can hear me, announce that stuff. It's pretty simple. All right, you guys know how to book tournaments. You know how to plan for these tournaments, and you know how to announce them. Pretty simple. We got stuff to do. We got stuff to plan. I got other fishing stuff to plan, but then I got stuff not related to fishing to plan. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. All right, aside from that, okay, so the Bass Opens. Okay, next. I really like fishing a local series of tournaments here in Minnesota. It's called the Champions Tour. It's a catch, weigh it in the boat, release it right where you caught it, kind of a format. So in essence, you can score tons of fish throughout the day. You're not limited to just a 5-fish limit. You are limited by how many fish you can actually catch. So much like how Major League Fishing's Bass Pro Tour operates, basically the same thing. So that, fortunately, I could take that schedule and I could fit it around those bass tournaments already announced with the Bass Opens. So that's a series of 5 tournaments. The 5th one would be the championship. So those 5 tournaments all are able to fall into my schedule. Okay, the only thing I'm concerned about is Bassmaster scheduling on top of the championship, which they better not do. I'll be pissed. I will be mad if they do that. But I think it's I because the very last divisional Bass Open tournament is at Leech Lake in the middle of August, and our Champions Tour championship is at the end of August. So I don't think they're going to send us away that quickly to another place, because that doesn't give us much time to plan for it. So anyhow, aside from that, next, I would like to do a Toyota Series tournament, or not a tournament, but a division. I was looking at the Central Division. I was looking at the Plains Division. Those are the only two divisions I could fit on my schedule around those Bass Open tournaments and around those Champions Tour tournaments. So, but those two divisions are available. There's one catch. Like in the Plains Division, they have a September tournament. And also with the Toyota Series, their championship is also in the fall. So I haven't scheduled any of these Toyota tournaments yet, because I would hate to schedule them, send in my deposits, and then have Bassmaster come up with a schedule that overlaps the Toyota Championship or overlaps that September Plains Division tournament if I enter that division. I do not want to be sacrificing deposits, okay? That's my point. So I'd like to do a Toyota Series Division tournament. We'll see if that actually happens. Next, there's the WON Bass US Open out west. It's one of the best tournaments in the country. I've been able to do it on and off for the last, 8 years or so. And I was there this past year in 2024. I'd love to do it again. They're going back to Lake Mojave. I'd love to go there again. I want another crack at it. It's the first place prize is phenomenal. And there's just a lot of prestige with that tournament. I'd love to have my name put on the traveling trophy with all those other legendary names on there. I mean, you got names. I mean, I know I'm going to forget some of them, but Rick Clunt, he's on that trophy. You got Aaron Martins, he's on that trophy. You got Clifford Perch, who's still fishing elites, he's on that trophy. I believe you got John Murray on that trophy. You got Mike Folkestad on that trophy. Oh gosh, you got Byron Velvick on that trophy. You got Gary Yamamoto on that trophy, and I'm sure there's some just superior anglers I can't think of right at the moment. But to throw in a guy from Minnesota on that trophy, that would be really fun, really fun. And incidentally, if anybody wants to have a great co-angler experience, that's a great term to go to. And that's because you work as a team with your pro. Okay, most co-angler events, you're fishing for your fish. The fish you catch go in your live well. The pro's fish go in his live well. They're weighed and scored separate. In the WON Bass US Open, each boat has a 5-fish limit. Doesn't matter who catches them, the co-angler or the pro. They all count. That catch counts towards each player. So pretty cool. So anyhow, so there's that tournament. The Fort Frances Canadian Bass Championship. I'd love to do that one. There's a problem though. I'd have to go in there basically cold without any practice, and which would have been fine in like 15, 20 years ago when I did that tournament. It would have been fine back then. But the lake's changed a lot, and especially with the advent and introduction of forward-facing sonar. Guys are catching bigger bags out there than ever now, so I need to come up with a new strategy, new locations, based on forward sonar to be a part of my catch. Maybe it wouldn't have to be all of my catch, but it'd have to be part of it, I would think. And with that being said, I'd have to have a few days of practice for that, and I don't. I actually have no practice for it because one of my Champions Tour events literally falls like a day or two before the beginning of that Fort Frances tournament on Rainy Lake, which is on, in case you don't know, Rainy Lake's on the northern border of Minnesota where it borders Ontario. All right, so there's that one, and there's also a MLF Invitational Tournament on La Crosse, on the Mississippi River in La Crosse. As bad as I do on lacrosse, historically, which is bad, the only way to fix that is to freaking keep going back and fishing it. So there's a September tournament there, but again, I can't enter it until I know where these the second half of this BASS schedule falls. Because I certainly, like I said, I don't want to get stuck with forfeiting deposits. So that summarizes what I'm doing. It's going to be, it's going to be as intensive as I can make it. And at this age of my life, I can do this because my kids are grown adults. I'm single. And so I can really just go out on the road and fish. So anyhow, that's my schedule. That's my plans. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Over and out.